is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Ruhl. He's D-Mac, Darren McCarty. You know, four-time Stanley Cup champion. Only won 4 of them during his playing career.
Lost 2.
Lost 2. We'll talk about that. Joik Bell will not be with us here today, but Joik will be back with the show. We'll be live tomorrow, by the way, at Arts Beats and Eats. So if you're bumping around Arts Beats and Eats tomorrow, we'll be on the scene. Come on out. I'll make Stick give you a T-shirt or something like that.
What number? What number is this, real quick? What number on the?
25.
Your camera's out, Fish.
4 and 5. I like this. Whatever this
25.
is. 25. Oh, no wonder, baby.
No wonder.
Oh, no wonder I dig it. That was not even a setup. Arden, why are you shaking your head as far as Joik's not here? If anybody wants to know, he's up in Benton Harbor getting his son prepared for his game and stuff like that, so we wish him well. Unfortunately, because he's out there doing Big D Energy things, right?
Yep.
That you're gonna have to miss your boy today, Arturo. Sorry about that.
I know. It's
Big
just,
D
it's
Energy.
A shame.
Big D Energy over on the west side of the state. We got you surrounded today.
Big D Energy, not just in Detroit, but throughout the state, and wherever you can listen, and definitely on YouTube, the Twitter, everything like that. But congratulations to anybody listening on 99.1 FM, 93.5 FM, and 94.7 if you have the HD2. How cool is that, Neal?
It is cool, and, you know, there's another sports radio alternative in this town. And, again, with what we're doing here at Woodward Sports, certainly, you know, digital media, it's the next generation, D-Mac. It certainly is. So everyone said forever they want another option. Well, here you go. Here's your option. So take advantage, which a lot of you do. We will monitor your comments and everything on our YouTube chat thread as well. I know hundreds of you are on there firing off comments and everything like that, so feel free to get interactive with the show. You know, I don't have to invite you. You guys do that all the time, but it's a big part of the show. We appreciate that energy that you guys bring, and we'll be interacting with you. Whether you like what I have to say, whether you hate what I have to say, I'll give it its proper respect. There's no question about that. I can tell. I'm a big boy, D-Mac. I can take criticism.
You know what? But when you have to be, when you can listen, and we were talking about this before, because we're going to get into a bunch of different things, and I'm excited today because you will listen to anything somebody's passionate about, like I will, and then you'll ask questions. And the thing is for a guy, remember out there, the golden rule by Neal Ruhl is both things can be true, which means, but it makes it understanding, because that, in other words, is we can agree to disagree, but there's points to every matter, and that's why I love you. You have to have your big boy pants to be able to do that. Something that, you know, Art's looking to do. That's why he's got big boy, little Larry Bird shorts.
Yeah, and just, you know, growing up in this industry and moving along in my career, I mean, here's what I've come to find out, D-Mac. The check's going to clear. Either way. So, I mean, you know, they want me to say stuff. I'm up here saying, I'm telling you what I think, man. I mean, it's not a complicated job. It can't be if I'm doing it. It can't be a complicated job. But I'm going to tell you what I think. I believe what I'm saying. I'm not just standing up here, hey, what's going to get the most comments? No, because I'm like everybody else, man. A son of 2 factory workers, you know, like that's what I do. I have thoughts and everything like that. And you've heard it, and a lot of people out there have heard it before. And, you know, we're out here. We out here in these streets.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to go to this other shot so people can see what I have to deal with. Darren McCarty has a baseball bat and a machete. Neal is unarmed. What is happening?
Except for the gun show, right?
Yeah. Hang on, let me do that again. What was that, Neal? I see you.
Except for the gun show.
As you know, Mr. Ruhl does not have to handle any of the heavy lifting. That's for Tackleberry over here, okay. All right?
Yep,
now,
I got you.
Fish doesn't have to worry either, because he's playing great tunes right out of the gate. You know, you, my friend, I'm not sure if I want to maim you or really, really seriously hurt you, but I have options. Okay. So, and by the way, this is my autographed John Olerud baseball bat. Feel how heavy this is. Feel that, like, seriously.
Oh, yeah. That's along the Babe Ruth line. It's not quite the Babe Ruth, 38 ounces of love.
I was just showing everybody, because as it's, you know, do you know that Mr. Joik Bell, Braylon Edwards, and myself, being the 3 professional athletes at this station, are all our first loves are baseball.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild? And that's
a sign of the times,
right,
too.
It's crazy
exactly.
that, because I'm almost an athlete, and baseball was my first time, like, you know.
That was my first thing. Yeah.
You count. I didn't know that they, that street ball, that you and Maz playing street ball. Because you were the one that had to get the Maz and go chase the ball down, right? Not get hit by the cars.
Once or twice, and I don't want to talk about it.
What streets in Flint do you play on?
On Dayton Avenue.
Dort
Nice.
Highway.
Oh, shot at
What about Dort Highway? It's too much traffic on Miller Road.
The Dort Highway and Miller are so congested, it's hard to play.
Over by the Halo Burger?
So we're more like a Van Slyke, areas around there. Dort is just it's too nice.
Too much going on.
Tell him actually I was doing my best Roger Dorn Major League impersonation earlier.
You were.
Absolutely you were. It's funny, man. We got a lot of Big D energy everywhere. JGB says, I got Big D energy here in Port Huron. I assume that's where it is. Oh, Phoenix. He's in Phoenix. Okay. Mr. 715, Big D Energy here in San Antonio. So, appreciate all you guys.
See,
everywhere.
the boys, the fellas know. Maybe it's because I was at the Horror Slam versus GCW last night and the death match and seeing my boy Tommy Vendetta, Murdoch, Nick Gage was into all the death match guys plus DT, all this stuff. So maybe I'm fired up. But I was just reminded, Mr. Harrison Metzler reminded me, I am the head of HR, Art. So these are
the tools of the trade.
The tools of the trade.
I'm not arguing with you on that.
Yeah, it's we're getting some reaction too to your wrestling event yesterday. Colton Ryder Holland says, D-Mac, your boy Trey killed it last night.
Trey Miguel, baby, in his blue Spidey suit. Unbelievable.
Hey, and for those of you that are wrestling fans, we're going to get into that a little bit because I have an issue with wrestling today. And my son is heavy into it, loves it. And that I'm cool with it because he's passionate about it. And that's all I'm asking for, just be passionate about something. And he loves it. So I'm here to support it. But I have an issue. So by default, I've gotten back into it as well. And I came up through the late 80s, early 90s like everybody else. I was a big WCW guy in the Nitro days and all that kind of stuff. But I have some thoughts on the state of wrestling today. D-Mac doesn't like it, but I don't care. I'm telling him anyway. And that'll come up a little bit later in the show. We got a lot of stuff to get to. The Lions practice squad has been announced. They signed a receiver as well. Jelani Tavai picked up by the New England Patriots. That was a huge, huge shocker. Rashad Perriman was picked up as well. We'll discuss that.
Really? It was?
Yes,
big shocker to go to the Pats?
Yeah, I was stunned. Some notable NFL cuts. We'll go through a couple of those. There's probably some folks that could help the Lions. We'll see. Miguel Cabrera yesterday. Tigers got a win. The second we start talking about them playing good baseball like we did a few days ago, they don't win a game since. But yesterday they got the job done. Miguel Cabrera hit number 502. He's warming up. College football's back tonight, baby. It is back. I'll tell you about the weekend I have lined up for college football. I want you guys to tell me if I'm doing it right or if I'm doing it wrong. D-Mac and I are here. Joik's not. And D-Mac and I in a past radio life had a discussion about the NHL and television. And we're going to revisit that because everything I said in that discussion, D-Mac, was true.
Absolutely.
You know how I know? They went back to it. We'll discuss that as well because I know you have some thoughts on it. We got some Bryson Brooksy golf stuff as well. And I'm telling you guys this, golf should be everybody's favorite sport as a sports fan.
You nailed it with and that's the best part, right, Neal? Is that you're going to come with your opinion and you're going to give your reasons why.
Sure.
And there's always that argument. So the reasons why it should be people's favorite sports, a couple of them are.
Number one, they get what they get. They get what they earn. They don't have guaranteed contracts and guaranteed money. You're as good as you are that weekend.
Yep.
And that's what you get. And I think sports fans always talk about that, right? Oh, the free agency, it's ruined sports and guaranteed money, then they don't care. Golf should be your thing then, man. You don't get anything that you don't earn from Thursday morning or Thursday afternoon when you tee off till Sunday. You only get what you earn that weekend. So we'll discuss that as well. And certainly a lot of drama also in the PGA Tour with the whole Brooks and Bryson thing. We'll talk about that as well. Who will win this year's NFL MVP? I think it's very, very easy to figure that one out. And again, the whole Darren McCarty wrestling bit as well. But I know, D-Mac, we do need to get into it because it's front of mind. The Lions practice squad has been announced. I'm not going to sit here and break down the practice squad. Craig Reynolds. Craig.
Come
on, Craig. I got to borrow your VCR right quick.
That's tomorrow. It's Friday. Friday, Craig. You got a job.
Yeah. Craig Reynolds.
Craig
does have a job. And he didn't get fired on his day off. So he will be on the practice squad, the number one running back, Javon McKinley, the wide receiver, Rashad Berry as well on the edge. And for those of you watching on our YouTube channel, you see it on your screen as well, who it is. And, with all that being said, again, I'm not a huge practice squad guy, just like I'm not a huge preseason guy for reasons that I've spelled out before. That's Lions management's job to figure out who the players are. I mean, I don't know. Am I I'm probably too dismissive of this, D-Mac, but you live the professional athlete life. Not that the NHL. I mean, the NHL kind of has practice squads, but it's different.
Well, it's different, but the practice squad in football is sort of like you heard of the Black Aces, right? The Black Aces are during the playoff time, your roster can be sort of unlimited, so you call up your minor league guys and there's usually about 8-10 guys that practice before, but if in case there's injury, then guys can get called off the Aces and come in to play a game. I mean, what I remember is Yuri Fisher back in 2002 got suspended for Game 5 for a cross-check, and Yuri Slager came in. He hadn't played any in the playoffs, but because he played Game 5, we won. He got his name on the cup and stuff. So it's about being ready. And then Joyce will want to talk about this, but I'm glad with seeing a guy like a Craig Reynolds because we're going to have to run the ball what he did. So it's an opportunity. And like Joyce always says, is that you're not auditioning a lot of times for the team you're there for. It's for another team. So how many times do we see it? How many times, now that we're getting into fantasy football and stuff like that, are you looking for a sleeper off the practice squad, to fill a lineup? So congratulations to the guys because they're living their dream out. But
sure.
And if you're on the practice squad in Detroit, that's not that far away from being able to play. Why?
Well, given the state of this roster.
Given the state of this roster. So, I mean, if I'm on a practice roster, I want to be on one of the teams like the Houstons, the Jacksonvilles, the Detroit Lions, somewhere where I can maybe get exposure and climb the ladder quicker.
Yeah, so that is the setup for the Detroit Lions. And again, they will kick things off. San Francisco's coming to town. And all this discussion and all that we've had. And I remember we did shows about players that were signed, that were cut. I mean, we did segments of shows, and that just goes to show you, the defensive back Robbie. We spent 10 minutes talking about him. He got signed on. He's gone. He got cut. That's why I just don't get into it. And it's weird saying this. A lot of you guys know I work in college athletics, do play-by-play for Oakland University college basketball. I get flooded with questions on Twitter about recruiting. I don't follow recruiting at all because it doesn't matter until they're here.
You're a golf recruiter, though, right? That's
I'm in the midst of negotiations with DMAC right now.
Yeah, I was sitting around in my Oakland. Shout out to the golf coach in my white Oakland jersey. Then I got it. I think I got it dirty.
It Stunner.
Stunner.
Yeah.
Stunner.
Nick Pumford, the golf coach at Oakland, he gave you the white one.
See, I got you. See, anytime you use wrestling terminology, I like it. You use Stunner. It's all good.
What do you think the odds were, D-Mac, that you would have used that Stunner multiple times if you could have?
Oh, on the ice?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Dude, the flying elbow would have been nice. The back elbow, stuff like that.
So you're saying if there was like an over-under in penalty minutes, you definitely would have went over?
Absolutely.
Where would somebody even bet on something like that, D-Mac?
I don't know. Probably mybookie.ag if you're here at Woodward Sports Network or not. Yes, mybookie.ag. Thank you to our studio sponsor. You can go there if you're not there already and haven't taken advantage of the great deals. Go to mybookie.ag, put in Woodward, and they will match up to 1,000 deposit for deposits. Put in 100, get 100, so that would make 200. Put in 500, get 500, that would make 1,000. You get it. It's not that tough. All you have to do is go to mybookie.ag. Now's the time. 18-game NFL season. Neal mentioned college football's here. Over $500,000 in tournament prizes. You can bet anywhere, anytime with mybookie.ag. If you have a gambling problem, call the National Problem Gambling Hotline at 1-800-522-4700. For Neal, Ruhl, I'm Darren McCarty. We are Big D Energy. Woodward Sports Network. We'll be right back.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Back at it here, Big D Energy. Neal Ruhl, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Joik Bell is not in the house today. He will be back with us, so don't worry about that. Remember, Woodward Sports giving away front row tickets to the Lions season opener against the San Francisco 49ers. This is very simple, guys. Very simple instructions. You want to sit front row? Very easy. Follow Woodward Sports and Big D Energy on Twitter. Tag 3 friends and retweet. That's it.
That's it?
That's it.
That's all.
We are going to draw a winner coming up. That's next Friday, right, Art? Next Friday. So everyone's got a chance to get in the mix.
Lions Limo.
Lions Limo. Absolutely. They're picking people up.
Forward
starting
down
on
the
next
field.
Sunday. Get on board, everyone. Get on board. You can be there sitting front row, courtesy of Woodward Sports. So that's very easy. Do that, and you can be there. But we're talking about the Lions practice squad. Lions also made a signing, and this was a signing, though, that I'm not going to go crazy about it. Kadarius Hodge, a receiver that was with the Browns that last year had 11 catches for 180 yards, and you look at it on surface.
What game was that? Oh, that was a season.
That was a season.
Oh, okay.
But you have to remember, Hodge is a guy. Look at the receiving core in Cleveland. Look at where they are right now in their journey. You have Odell Beckham. You have Jarvis Landry. Baker May. I mean, they are making a move. They were one stop away from beating the Chiefs last year and squaring off against Buffalo in the AFC Championship game. So I mean, they were right there.
No,
they were right there. And this guy made big catches for them during the course of the season. There's only so many footballs to go around, and Joik's favorite phrase that he comes up with, it's a numbers game. And when you have Odell in there, I forget what his number, 15 million plus, whatever it is, Jarvis Landry's at 10 million, there's just not a lot of resources left for other guys.
No, and that's good. And we're in that position where anybody you bring in, you're going to give them an opportunity. And maybe this is what you need, is an opportunity for a guy to step up. And people are looking for chances all the time. I mentioned the practice squad being able to move on, while other teams' players that they run into a numbers game. Like a lot of times is a guy gets cut and you look at him and go, well, he can't play. And then you look, wow, this guy got cut. And then you see, well, there's not enough balls to go around. So for Detroit Lions fans, that's where I would be looking around the league to see, oh, okay, who's deep at that position. So obviously at the end of the day, Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell and the Lions have a plan, and they're moving into place. Now I saw that, obviously I always wondered what happens when you sign guys, and then Darren Fells got dropped, but they maneuver
on
the
temporary
cap.
hold.
Yeah, there's different things that I don't understand, but how you can maneuver in, and the fact is they understand. That's all that matters.
Yeah, and the NFL is weird like this. There's a very I'm a soccer guy. I do play-by-play for Detroit City FC, USL, all that kind of stuff. The MLS has similar rules that are really weird and really tough to understand, but with allocation money, designated player money. The NFL has some similar things going on with this whole, we cut people, but you're on the practice squad the next day, but we don't put you on IR, but you're hurt, and these things play out over the next 2 days after the 53-man cuts come out. It's really weird. It's really convoluted. Most people don't understand it. I, for one, don't fully understand it, in that I know the concept, but I don't know the exact step-for-step execution of it. So they got a lot of weird stuff going on. But the moral of the story is the roster's not very good.
Well, here's the question. How many of the 53 guys do you expect to be here at the end of the year? You know what I mean? If you're getting better and you're moving guys around and you're auditioning guys, 40, 45, like there should be guys in and out when you're at the bottom of the league.
Right. I mean, that's the way it should be.
Right? So and it maybe hasn't been in the past, but it goes back to what you said the other day, as far as you've purged, you've cleansed, now you're moving forward and allowing this regime to I guess, to hang themselves, or else to produce what we expect them to produce. And with 2 years to be able to set the culture, I expect that's what they're going to do. So it's the way that they play more than the wins and losses.
Right, and that is, and you heard me say this yesterday, and Joik and I got in the mix the other day, and a lot of people had some thoughts on that, but I have the 2023 timeline, because doing a deep dive into the contract structure of the Detroit Lions right now, Trey Flowers, Jared Goff, your big money guys, they come off the books in 2023. So that's going to be the movement, and you'll know with Jared Goff what you have, how you're going to move forward. If you're going to move forward with him, do you need to draft somebody? You have time to find out. Should be another good quarterback class coming through, because as I've said yesterday, today, tomorrow, all season, into next year, as long as I'm here, the rookie contract is a weapon. The Kansas City Chiefs are, and we'll talk about who we think the NFL MVP is going to be, which follow this because this is a good foreshadowing. Patrick Mahomes, while he does have that $450 million contract this year, he's still getting paid on his rookie deal, which is a $7.5 million contract.
Which allows them to keep
on
guys.
keeping on.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, well, you knew it last year, right? It's when Schwartz went down, the two left side tackles and the guard went down, is that it was inevitable what Tampa was going to do. So the fact that they could address that, and they did.
And they did.
They
Joe Thuney.
That's what I'm saying.
Orlando Brown Jr. They didn't address it, D-Mac. They may have gotten better.
Does it not remind you of we lose in 2001 and then we come out and we sign Robitaille, Hall, Hasek?
No games. There were no games being played.
Nope. So they know they have that window because of that salary cap. So it's the same sort of thing. That's what you're telling me is the 2 years in the Lions when the cap works more in their favor because contracts coming off. Well, that's if you're a really good organization, then you set yourself up for that. So that's something that we don't know about, but hopefully we're going to find out.
Yeah, absolutely. Ryan's reaction says on our YouTube threads, yes, but do you follow Luka Garza, though?
Absolutely.
And that is important.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah. Ryan, why would you not follow Luka Garza? That's the question you need to ask. Why would you not? So, the Lions are getting it all squared away, getting it all set up, and college football's back. Like I said, we can feel this out here. We can feel this out here in these streets. But some other Detroit Lions news: Jelani Tavai signed by the New England Patriots in just a shocking move. That he has been signed to the practice squad of the New England Patriots, and really it makes sense given the way the scheme worked, and he was brought here to play the Lions scheme that they had last year. That now he's going to go back probably to that scheme, and Matt Patricia runs it and everything like that in New England. So that's not a big shocker. None of us would be shocked to see him bounce back and be productive and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know, man. When we did Ballin' with Bell and he broke down, it didn't look like, and credit to him that he tried. But, D-Mac, this is the NFL, man. I'm not into trying. Execute. Be fast.
Exactly. And it's one of those things that, like, system-wise or whatever with Matt Patricia there. And, I mean, good for Tavai to get an opportunity. I do not expect – you look at what they did with Van Noy. I mean, is there an opportunity for that to happen? And if it does happen, you can't be mad at it. You know what I'm saying? You got to it's just cut the ties and whatever else. So – I don't expect it. It's probably that he's played his last days. He might get an opportunity, but like you said, the tape don't lie.
No, and that's what it is. And it's a grown-up league. It's a professional league. And, now making plays, do goodbye. That's the way it works. That's what you sign up for.
What have you done for me lately, right?
What have you done for me lately? So he has moved on. He'll be in New England. And Lions fans, if you see that he's playing, you're going to be like me. I'm not saying I'm going to go stop what I'm doing and go watch the Patriots game, but I'll fish through that box score.
Of course you will.
I'm not lying.
Of course you will.
I'm not going to sit here and lie to you.
And it's the same way as if you're watching Red Zone and somebody's going to score against the Patriots, you're going to see if he's
Was
out
it Tavai
there,
that got
right?
cooked?
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely you're going to. Because that's just the way that it goes. John Suba says on the YouTube thread, it says, is Neal a face or a heel? I enjoyed Neal the heel the other day. It depends on the subject matter, man. I have thoughts. I like to base them in fact, and sometimes it's the face role, sometimes it's the heel role.
I just love that, you know what? You didn't stand down to Joik. You gave your 2 cents on that, and it caught me off.
Well, just because you waver like a little fish fry and everybody else here.
Been in battles. What are you talking about?
Listen.
Well, it's fun. I got some criticism on social media from some folks about that, where they said, "Hey, how can you talk to a guy that played in the NFL?" Let's get one thing straight. This microphone in this world right now, this is my world.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
If we were out on the football field, that's Joik's world.
Hell yeah, Neal.
That's Joik's world.
Talk that talk, Neal.
But I'm quarterbacking
But what's
here.
he spitting? He's spitting truth. So if you're going to step up, at least spit some truth.
Yeah.
Because what Neal's saying, is
I've been in it for 12 years. I'm
Right.
not at the level of Neal. I've been in it for 12 years.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
Matt
getting there.
Stafford was his quarterback in the NFL. I'm the quarterback here.
I'm a video director.
Yeah, jealousy does not look good on you. I have 12
I'm
years
so
of
freaking
experience
jealous.
to your 4th
Listen,
Stanley Cup, sir.
How can I? Oh, is that what I? Oh yeah, I do have 4. I forgot. I'm too
We
enamored.
lost- you lost
I
two,
said
though,
to you
D-Mac.
guys, check out this window behind. It's beautiful. It makes me want to just come into work. See you are. Now you know why I upgraded to the bat.
I don't like that you have.
Well, the knife is just gonna. I can't trust myself with my own strength. It's like when I wrestle, they make me wear gloves so I don't knock people out.
Neal,
It's
can
like-
you cool him down a little bit?
Well, here's the other thing, too. I'm going to cool this down before I get hit with this on the YouTube chat and everything like that. We talked about Craig in the Friday bit before.
Yeah.
You know, when Joik leaves, you know, when Joik tells me to be quiet, I'll be quiet. But when he leaves, I'll be talking again.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm right there with you on that one. I'm not gonna lie. He's just a little bit bigger than me, just a little bit. you know?
No, but hey, I'm telling you guys, that is real talk, though. The football field's his world. This here,
I love
that there, this thing here, that's my world.
Hey,
Neal is the
Joey 2 times. Neal is the captain now.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm getting some text. I wonder if that's Joik right now.
We gotta cool
You're
it
good
down
till
in here.
Tuesday, bro.
I
You're
am good till
Tuesday.
Tuesday. I am good till Tuesday. But the other news, the Lions, former Lions everywhere, I guess. Brashad Perriman signed on with the Bears. Now, this one scares me a little. I'm not going to lie to you. This
You
one
know
scares
it's in
me.
the cards that it's going to be probably Fields to
Yep.
Perriman for
Yeah.
some sort of touchdown.
It's Fields to Perriman, 51 yards on the touchdown, and the Bears lead it now 14-0.
How hot would you be?
See, I wouldn't be hot because it doesn't matter. Because I have my 2023 timeline. I got to
Yes.
get a T-shirt. Just says 2023. The cap cometh. Because that's what it's going to be. I'm on the timeline right now.
Perfect.
I am. And
I'm with you.
nothing, that's going to be fine. And I know everybody will get worked up about it. I was on the Sewell train. You know, the Panay
So
Sewell
was I.
train. I was on the train. I wasn't a big Justin Fields guy. See, here's what's different. You asked me, I think it was John that said it on YouTube. I put it out there, and I put it out there on record. And when I'm wrong, I'll let you know I was wrong. But when I'm right, I'm gonna let you know I was right too. And you know, the thing with Sewell is I thought that he was going to be a plug and play option. I thought you plug him in, you don't worry about that position again for 10 years.
Yeah,
the
but that's if you
early
plug him in at
returns
left.
are
You gotta
the
make him
early
learn
returns
something.
are not there yet. I understand that, but we'll monitor that as it goes on. But I'll put my hand up there. I was not a Justin Fields guy.
Do you put
I
any?
was not.
I love Sewell. You not put any stock into the fact that he didn't play last year and getting right back. I mean, what are you gonna do? He's a little cold right now, and you know he's gonna heat up. It's all pedigree.
the new position thing concerns me because I don't know. I know that guys develop, but I also know that really good guys are typically really good the second they walk in. That development thing, it happens, but I don't know that it's happened to the quote unquote greats.
It's young too, though.
That's what I was sold on with Sewell. That this was.
I'm still sold on Sewell.
No, I know, and
if
I
you're
am too.
If you're on your cap plan of 2, 3, right, then you
Then
gotta
I'm
give
cool.
him time.
And I do. And I'll tell you that. I give him time. I absolutely do. If time's run out, though, in your current profession, you want to start a new career in an industry that's always essential, the heating and cooling industry. You can learn more today by visiting northwesterntech.edu.
Welcome to the Call Sam Chopper Shop, where you can win a custom-built chopper while helping our veterans at the same time.
Watch as the Bad Pig Custom team turns this bike into a one-of-a-kind classic chopper.
And when it's finished, we'll be donating the bike to Volunteers of America Michigan to raffle off in support of our vets.
A great cause to give back to those who've given so much.
Watch for Call Sam Chopper Shop episodes on our social media channels and get your raffle ticket today at callsam.com/chopper shop.
Back at it here, Big D Energy on the Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, 4-time Stanley Cup champion. Fish is in the bowl. Arturo, Flint's own Arturo, is in the production booth. We are live from the My Bookie studios. Big hello to everyone listening on the Roar, 93.5 FM, 99.1 FM, or 94.7 HD2 WCSX HD2. Woodward Sports has you covered, too, for the very best in high school football. All season long, you can watch on Friday nights, our high school football coverage on the Woodward Sports Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter this weekend, this Friday. Southfield A&T at Birmingham Groves, big-time matchups. I do have my eyes on that Chippewa Valley-Macomb, Dakota matchup coming up in a couple weeks. There'll be 4,000 people out at that game. That one's going to be on and popping. Chippewa Valley destroyed Catholic Central on Valley Sports, so that was a big-time game. Chippewa Valley showed a lot in that. I'll be on the PA at Fraser High School tonight, D-Mac.
Yeah.
Ramblers looking to go 2-0.
Wow.
I told you guys, Fraser football's coming back. We were great in the 90s. We're coming back. Coach
Who
Gladwood
they
up
playing?
there. Tonight will be against Warren Cousino.
What's the spread?
I cannot. I work for an NCAA institution. I cannot relay that information
hold on.
to
That's
you.
the NFL.
Yeah,
I forgot.
But we are live in the MyBookie studios, though. That is worth noting.
That is.
That is worth noting.
But is this a rivalry game? Is this one that you mark a W on the card? What kind of game are you looking forward to tonight, or what can the people be looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to my Fraser Ramblers getting back in the playoffs. It's a 30,000-foot thing. We take it one game at a time.
So what's your
one
strength?
game at a time?
Offense,
to win
defense?
5 games. Offensively, no. Eddie, well, we got a very good running back. He carried the load against Holly last week, so he made some big plays, and I'm here for it.
I love it.
I'm here for it, man. I'll shout him out.
I love it.
And if you're an ex-Fraser football player at the crowd tonight, go up there with. I'll check you in. So. Talking about some things, we've been talking about cuts and everything like that. There were some notable NFL cuts. I think everybody knows that Cam Newton certainly was one. Jordan Howard, the running back from Philadelphia. Remember that guy was like a big-time fantasy guy a couple years ago. He's out of a job. Laquan Treadwell, Chris Hogan, receiver for the Saints. John Brown, another receiver, was cut by Vegas, actually asked for his release. John Brown was a guy, he was in Buffalo.
Is he a speedster?
Yeah, he was in Buffalo. He looked like he had all the makings of a big-time guy, but
injuries or whatever. I always look at, there's two things that I look at. Former Saints, right, which you got Chris Hogan,
right,
which, bit of a slot guy or something like that. And, John Brown, receiver, because you look at where could guys come in and try out. We mentioned that every Monday, guys are coming in for new tryouts no matter what it is. So it'll be interesting when either receivers that are gone off and, Hogan from the Saints, but he was one of Tom Brady's minions in New England.
Yeah.
So that's always interesting because, again, when we're on, and I love it because Duke Mensa already said they take as much time as they need now. I really want Tua last year. I buy the long-term Sewell prospects. Sign me up for one of those 2023 tees as well. Look at you selling merch.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I got to get a name, image, and likeness deal done here.
With the in the long play. So I wouldn't be surprised that you see some of these names reported in town for tryouts.
Yeah, and when I say the 2023 thing, guys, again, I go back to it. Trey Flowers' contract is over. Jared Goff comes off the books because I'm a big flush it. I love what the Chicago White Sox did. They won their World Series. They kind of middled for 5 or 6 years, but they made the commitment to dump the books. I mean, at one point, I think it was for 2021, at one point they had like $29 million on their books.
Wow.
And that's, that gave them the flexibility to go sign whoever they wanted to do. And that was the same time that draft picks were coming up. I like that. Just a total flushing of your financial commitments.
Yeah, and then it also, too, gets into, like you said, is that how you manage those rookie contracts in every other sport. You're
right.
Talking baseball, so that's more development and a little bit longer year, but everything goes into it, right? Everything goes into it with the salary caps in different sports, with the luxury tax, with there's so much behind it. That's why every sport needs that capologist or the guy that knows the inner workings of, we can slide this guy through, this guy can make it through because he's only played this many games. So, like you said, that's the nice part about being on the investment plan. It's sort of like Bitcoin. Let's go check it in a few years.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, Duke's got some. Duke and I are in lockstep. I really wanted Tua too. I really did. I'm a big time buyer in Tua. But
I like Fields better than Tua.
Do you really?
Yeah,
we're in the pros, so as Drake says, we gonna see.
Yeah, we gonna see.
Like that's.
Look at friggin' the Ruhl.
I drop a bar. I drop a bar every show. It's become a bit. The people on YouTube love it.
I have to ask you real quick, Neal. You're bringing up hip hop. Drake's dropping an album tomorrow. Will you be listening to it?
100%.
Okay.
Who wouldn't be?
Let me ask real quick. Drake or Kanye? Who's your pick?
Oh, Drake.
Drake.
Okay,
Hey.
I just
This
some
whole
people
Kanye
are crazy
thing,
and think that
like this whole Kanye thing when he's walking out the guys with the torches and. Is this weird to anybody else? Because I listened to like the first 4 songs on the
I
album.
couldn't listen to it.
It was unlistenable.
Yeah.
And usually Kanye makes some bangers. Don't get me wrong, I'm not crazy.
His best album,
He
My
says she
Beautiful
a
Dark
gold
Twisted
digger.
Fantasy. That's his best album
Oh,
next to
yeah.
808s and Heartbreaks.
He made some great songs.
Yeah.
But this stuff he's on now. I'm
27 tracks? What are we doing?
I know.
27? In
I
an
don't get
ADD world? What are we doing?
Yeah. I don't get it, but you know, Drake will deliver because Drake always delivers.
Yeah.
And I know it's corporate and
You guys
save
know
it.
why? Canadian.
That's fair. That's fair.
Say it.
Again, that's a factual statement.
Yeah.
And the Biebs. I'm the only guy in the world that admits Justin Bieber makes bangers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bieber's is awesome.
Yeah,
He's a cool dude, man.
You can't hate Bieber.
You can't hate Bieber.
I know I'm going to get murdered on this
I got
on
you.
here.
Hey,
Darren, I wanted to ask you, as a person with great fashion sense, what are your thoughts on Drake's album cover? That is his album cover up there.
He's getting weird too then, huh?
Right.
I think that his date with Doris Burke from the NBA really got some. Maybe that's just telling that he likes. Maybe he's saying that he's into the MILFs.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I thought it was cool when he was on top of this. Was it on the CN Tower in Toronto? Like that was cool.
that was hard.
Yeah,
That was hard.
I thought that was certainly cool. But
Yeah.
Paul CJ on our YouTube chat thread says he's a Chippewa alumni right here, 2008. Paul, get on board, man, because that team looks special. But talking about the notable NFL cuts, there's a couple of others that really. When I say raise an eyebrow, I don't raise an eyebrow because I want the Lions to go get him or anything like that. Everson Griffin, it looks like the party's over for him. He got cut by Minnesota. He went back home to where it all worked, and then it didn't work again. Clinton Dix, cut by Dallas.
Ooh,
I thought he was going to be it when he got drafted.
Well, and through the Packers and having some success there, and that's sort of a bit of a surprising one, but a lot of. I think the big thing is that you want to get younger. If you do get older, it's a guy that can be in there and influence the locker room. I look at and you compare it to the Tigers and what they did, and you look at some of the veterans in there. Like you look like a Robbie Grossman, who's got 20 home runs, but just a
hitting 240, by the way.
But whatever. But scrappy. But the 240 is the new 280.
It is the new thing. Yeah.
So 240 is the new 280, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's really not as bad. But guys that make the locker room better, right? That's what you're looking for. Either guys that talent-wise make the team better or make the locker room better and growing. So, yeah, that's a surprising one because of the name.
Yeah, certainly it is.
Nobody
because
laugh at him. Don't say, ha. You got cut.
Don't be doing that stuff. But those were just some of the names that I noticed that I said, wow, that was surprising. But again, I mean, if they could play, they'd be there.
But you know what, Neal? At least they got cut by the coach and not by the machete and not by the machete. There we go. Exactly. You know what I'm talking about. And tomorrow's Friday, coastportland.com. Use WSN 20 for 20% off all your do-it-yourself outdoor gear, lamps, machetes, knives, everything you need. And tomorrow, even though we will be broadcasting live from Arts Beats and Eats in downtown Royal Oak, I will be giving out a $100 gift certificate. Hashtag How We Coast anywhere you Woodward Sports Network, and you too could have the HR machete like DMAC. Remember, Coast Portland's where it's at. Go check out their stuff today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Back at it here, Woodward Sports Network. Of course, it's Big D Energy. Neal, Ruhl, D-Mac, Darren, McCarty, Joyke Bell, not with us here today. He will be back, though. We will be live at Arts, Beats, and Eats tomorrow. Can't wait for that. I do enjoy Arts, Beats, and Eats. That is a good time out there. It'll be good to be back there as well. Everyone's checking in with the high school alums, so that's cool. Colton Ryder Holland says Walled Lake Western alum. Joey 2 times Jackson State Penitentiary, 2002 to 2005. Good on you. You made it. You made it through.
Atta boy.
Good for you, man. I enjoy it. Detroit Batter 313 says Donda is trash. Hey.
Did you see
Detroit Batter? I'm with you.
Did you see the listening party? They just had Marilyn Manson stand there for like literally an hour, and it was so uncomfortable. That was one of the only reasons why I watched. But it was just weird, man. It was weird. I don't get it. I guess I'm getting old. It must be official. If I don't understand it, it's because I'm old.
Yeah. Commander Shepard's got my back too. He says Justin Bieber absolutely makes bangers. He does. But Colton Ryder Holland says Neal is definitely a heel rooting for Bieber. He's probably a Jake Paul fan as well. Not a Jake Paul fan.
Thank you.
Not a Jake Paul fan, but I respect the hustle.
You gotta respect.
And you have to too.
How can you not
Colton.
respect the hustle and everything? Like for what it is. But dude, these guys, the more that they talk and the more that they put these events on and they get these fights and they get the views and stuff like that, they figured it out.
I hate to say it, but after defeating Tyron Woodley, I said no matter how he defeats Tyron Woodley, if he defeats Tyron Woodley, I'll show a little bit of respect. And you have to. He beat an actual MMA fighter. Sure, he was 0-4, but I will put my pride aside and say as much as I hate the kid, I do respect him.
And this is the brilliance where Woodley's going, let's run it back, and Paul's like, no, bro, you're old news.
But here's the thing. Imagine.
But no, I get it. But they'll probably run it back because
he's got to get the tattoo. Now, here's my question: if you're Tyron Woodley and you get the tattoo, imagine if you get the tattoo and he decides not to run it back. I could see Jake doing something like that, and that's terrible. That's why it's so hard to respect.
Well, then why would you make a bet? No, Art, because you have a similar bet about a tattoo.
I do.
Right? So when the bet is made, it's not about on anything else.
Right.
Because you should have said, okay, I'll get the tattoo, but we have a rematch and I'll do it.
Right.
Don't get all pissy because you didn't negotiate properly.
I don't believe Tyron did make it clear that there has to be a rematch if he loses. So, I mean, technically, you are right. He does have to get the tattoo.
So don't say whatever else. Pay your dues or don't, run your mouth or whatever. That's the accountability of backing up what you say. So,
and for me...
And it's going to be a great watch party to watch you get the 4 and whatever tattoo.
No, it's going to be great when they go 10-7 and you have to get the Lions limo. I'm not stuttering over my words.
But you know what, though? If I'm Jake Paul, I'm not going to run that back. That was a split decision.
Yeah, I'm taking the money and running, bro.
Yeah, and I'm moving on to the next paycheck.
Let me tell you, when you have a fighter history like Tyron does, you can go and look at tape and see differences and come back in a rematch.
And that's what I'm saying.
I'm taking the money and running, bro.
I am too. I'm moving on to the next fight because there's a very real chance I could lose. And through the whole Jake Paul thing, think what you want. He's cashing big checks. But when he loses, it's over.
But like Joey 2 times says, as he quotes Nate Diaz, both those guys suck. I'm okay with that. I mean, they suck. They're just...
Well, like Easy said when we were talking to him, though, he's, 5 fights in?
Yeah, but I mean, look at...
If you're going to give Sewell time, you got to give Jake Paul time.
A YouTuber, Ben, and now Tyron, who's 0-4, and now he's 0-5 in his last 5. I don't want to discredit the kid. He's a marketing genius. I do respect him, but I respect it as much as I equally hate him. God, he makes my skin crawl.
Paul CJ says in our YouTube chat thread, let's be real, not a lot of Alabama studs pan out in the league, so what does that tell you guys? Well, I would say Derrick Henry's the best running back in the league, and there was a stretch where Julio Jones was the best wide receiver in the league.
Well, you know what? It's to that point, it's always interesting because you haven't seen a very successful quarterback come out of there. So Mac Jones getting the nod could be the first one. But I think that to the point of having 5-star recruits being as dominant as they are in college, a lot of times it doesn't pan out, because you're taking 10 guys off of each roster, every year. So, there's a pros and there's cons to playing for the power unit like that, right? Because so you wait your turn, you wait in line, right? You have the practice, the pedigree, playing against guys in practice all the time, then wait your turn and then go. But you really don't. A lot of times the losing and learning how to, where it's tough at a junior college or somewhere where it's not as easy, but you get more of the playing time. It's just like anything else. What do you put in to get out? And reps in any sport, you can't replace them. Live fire, live action. So it doesn't matter how much you skate, how much you ride a bike, how much you train, till you get in a ring, till you get on the golf course, till you get in a basketball court or an ice arena. That's where the rubber meets the road.
Catching up on some of the comments here on YouTube as well. Commander Shepard says, remember when Mags and Mauer both hit over 360? Yeah, and the game is different. And to be fair to Robbie Grossman, too, I hadn't realized how many walks he's taken. He leads the Tigers in strikeouts, over 120 strikeouts, but he also leads the Tigers in walks. I think he's walked like 81, 82 times, something like that. That on-base percentage is over 100 points higher than the average. So I'll give him props on that. You parlay that with 20 home runs. That's a valuable piece from a metrics perspective. So, and I'm a big metrics guy, especially in baseball, but in all sports. But I do have to give him credit, because what was Robbie Grossman viewed as? A scrap heap guy. I mean, for all intents and purposes, he was like a filler guy, and he's been great.
No, absolutely, and it's just
he embodies the Tigers. Like we talk about them being scrappy. Yes. Robbie Grossman's he always delivers a big hit.
Absolutely, and he's always like you said, he's battling. He's a battler.
Sure.
He every pitch, everything else. Like it's the identity of this team. Yes, we need more bats. We need they've gotten quiet, but when you look at this season and where they're at with the ups and downs, I mean, it's a successful year because you look at the progress of everybody. You look at Scooble's. I mean, he's still got lots to learn, but there's something to set the rookie Tigers record for strikeouts now. Like he's giving up a ton of dongs.
When dudes are good, they're typically good the whole time.
You're right, and it's about learning. It's learning to hone your talent. The professional game's different. You're not playing against boys or kids or guys your age. You're playing against men that have been doing this for years. And then when you get into the football, that's a men's game.
Absolutely it is. Tev Sauce 2 says he's a Mansalona, Michigan alum up in Arturo's neck of the woods.
Some issues with Mansalona in the past. I will just say I love the people and I love the city there. It's a beautiful spot. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I'll get it.
Yeah. Let's just say I get it. I was let go from a radio station because I made a Mansalona joke, and I apologize. I love the people of Mansalona.
Oh, I thought like a transaction went bad or something.
No, it's where the men are men and so are the women. I love Mansalona. Mancelona's a great place. It's beautiful people.
He's still using the line. He hasn't learned.
Yeah, I do. I respect that. That's cool. Neal Ruhl, he's Darren McCarty. This is Big D Energy, but we were talking about the notable NFL cuts, and that's how it kind of spun into that whole thing. But I did want to talk about the Tigers for a couple of minutes. Miguel Cabrera got another home run yesterday, number 502. Game-winning RBI as well. Now sits at 3,963 hits. I mean, this ball was ripped too. I mean, that was a home run anywhere, anytime, all day long. Miggy really looks like he's having fun right now, doesn't he?
And engage Miguel Cabrera might be the greatest trick that AJ Hinch has done, is the way you use Miguel Cabrera, because he's been engaged the whole season. Now, a little bit older, but the stats aren't there, but he cares, and he's in there grinding it out every night. You see in some of it, running it out to first on some of those little squib hits and stuff like that. So, he's 37 hits away from 500, which would be great to see him get to at the by the end of this season. So, like you said, you look at him rounding the bases, and if you said this is game 3 of the year, I'd be like, oh, okay, good. But every time we should appreciate. One of these days he's not going to be here, so we should appreciate the greatness we have when it's here. And I think that it's the Al Kaline sort of effect, that we're too young to maybe remember or see him play, but how great he was over time, just the consistency being Mr. Tiger. So that's the closest thing I compare that to.
So they're 134 games in, so that leaves 28 games left in the season.
Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, not quite going to get there.
If he rips off a homestand and rips off, he had 2 hits last night. If he rips, 12 hits in 5 days, he needs to get hot soon. I don't expect him to do it, but he can't. I wouldn't hold it against him.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not betting against him.
Sure, but I mean, I probably would. You know, if I were going to MyBookie on my phone, I certainly would be, as we're live at the MyBookie studios. But with all that being said, I am glad about all this. I wish he would have gotten a little more national attention. I think he deserved a little more national attention. There are factors, I think, that went into that made, the guys at PTI on ESPN, they talked about it. That was a little bit disappointing because he is in elite class, as in greats of all time, like no discussion. And I told you guys a story about a week or so ago when he hit number 500. I had the discussion with my neighbor, who's an older gentleman. He's like one of the rocks of the neighborhood, though. The kind of dude that walks his dog at 6:45 every day.
Every day.
If I'm out mowing the lawn and I see him walking the dog, I know it's 6:45.
The one where you are going to go outside, you look at your watch, and then you might wait a few more minutes until he passes.
Yeah, absolutely. But, I asked him, I said, he's the greatest Tiger of all time, bar none. Are you prepared to admit that? And he said he's not better than Al Kaline. And he walked away, which he had never done before. But I get that.
Dropped the mic on Ruhl.
He did.
Oh, he took the I'm the captain now. What's his name?
John. Yeah, of course his name is John. But he wasn't into listening to stats or facts or anything like that. He just, as you said, he just kind of went on his way. And that's cool. I like John, and I get that people grew up with him, so he's going to mean a little bit more. And he is. He's Mr. Tiger. I mean, he's got that nickname. But for the real ones out there, Al Kaline was never this. Just do yourself a favor and go back through those stats, especially through the mid-2000 teens.
Yeah,
that was some silly
Crown
stuff.
Winner, obviously, just the power. You got to think about it. What have you done 500 times? Right? I know
I breathe. Maybe I breathe 500 times,
right,
What were you going to say, What have I done 500 times?
Absolutely.
Well, the thing with D-Mac, you don't know what he's talking about. Even if your mind goes towards that direction, you're still not sure. There's like a multitude of things.
I'm just going to say Mansalona.
I don't know, but what I do know is it's getting close to lunchtime, Art.
It is close to lunchtime.
And Papa Romano's handcrafts pizzas that have made them a Detroit favorite for over 50 years. House-made dough, hand-cut veggies, fresh cheese. It makes all the difference, folks. Come on. You guys know these things. The same quality goes into all their pizzas, salads, subs, and pitas. It's almost noon. If you're sitting here thinking about what you want to do for lunch, open that computer, go to paparomanos.com. Look at that thing sitting on your screen right now. The pepperoni and sausage deep dish square. Come on, people.
I can see the steam coming off.
Absolutely. paparomaноspizza.com.
Wow.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We're recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10 and a half months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
What up, though? Welcome back. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Also on the radio, 93.5 The Roar, Detroit's new all-sports station. 24/7 sports, folks. You've been asking for an alternative for a long time. We out here. We on the scene, so let's do it. Happy to be a part of everything going on at 93.5 The Roar, 99.1 FM as well, and 94.7 HD2 if you're a big HD fan like I am as well. Make sure you hit us up on the radio. Again, my name is Neal Ruhl. He's D-Mac, Darren McCarty. But D-Mac, we're live in the MyBookie studios. I'm just saying, I got upset because they did the whole week 0 bit, which I thought was pretty stupid. That's week 1. If you play games, it's week 1. I don't care what you say. But whatever, we'll move on. That's just me, being weird about that stuff, I guess. That's what I've been told. But tonight, UAB played last night against Jacksonville State. But I guess they don't count that either. If you took UAB and you laid the points, though, on MyBookie from MyBookie Studios,
they count it.
They counted it. They counted it as week 1, week 0, whatever.
I watched.
Let's go, Fish.
Is there a game before break into tonight tomorrow? Is there a game that you're eyeballing this weekend?
Well, I mean, there's a couple actually. I mean, certainly the college football universe is going to be glued to the screens on Saturday night at Clemson in Georgia. And
what a banger to kick it off,
dude! I like the people that always condemn the SEC, and I forget who it was that asked me, "Are you a face or a heel?" When we talk about college football, I'm gonna be the heel because the SEC thing I don't know how many more examples you need that they're the best football conference. I go off of facts.
I mean, it's almost getting to the point that they're severing off. It's almost the SEC and the NCAA, and they're coming up on the same level.
Yeah, but I mean, people say they criticize the SEC scheduling. Georgia's playing Clemson the first week of the season.
Yeah,
that's as big as it gets.
Come out with a banger, because here's the one thing that I always is that I don't really look at the winning team that sets themselves up. It's the losing team that I always like. Who loses there? And that's sort of like your season could be done really early, because obviously you lose a few games, you're out of the picture.
Right. And look, I've always been critical of the NCAA football selection process for the playoff, because it always seems like it's a moving target. They're always moving the goalpost, and whatever fits that Power 5 narrative, that's whatever the argument is, right? So when you have a UCF that pops off, or a Boise State, and they run the table, then they say, well, we value out-of-conference road wins against quality opponents, something that those schools can't get.
Right.
They can't get those teams to play them, and they're never going to. And why would? And to be fair to a Clemson or a Georgia or even a Michigan, why would you play those schools? Because A, you can lose.
It's the old Appalachian State, Michigan argument of what only bad things can happen.
Right.
And you understand a lot of times is that unless there's some sort of connection, but the SEC is doing all these other conferences a favor because of the power they have, bringing the spotlight to them. Maybe a national game, that's the only way that they'd ever get on TV, but where does it make for them? And the counter argument is, you know what, it doesn't help the SEC's strength of schedule, right? They just throw it out. It's like Michigan claiming the victory over the Canadian University of the Blind. It's part of why they're the most, you know what I mean? It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, and that's been something I've always talked about too. Lots of wins without face masks and leather helmets and all that kind of stuff. But we have plenty of time to get into that all season long. But certainly, to answer your question, yes, I will be all about that game like everybody else will if you're a college football fan. But tonight as well, Ohio State's at Minnesota. And Ohio State's a 14-point road favorite last I checked. And
I got a 13.5.
Is that what we're okay? So the late money's jumping on Minnesota a little bit. I can't hate that move, because there are a lot of questions with Ohio State, i.e., probably the greatest quarterback or one of the greatest quarterbacks you ever had is now playing for the Chicago Bears. And
he's not playing for him. He's backing up.
He will be by week 3. Yeah, as somebody called Andy Dalton, the Red Rocket.
Yes.
He's backing up the Red Rocket. But there are a lot of unanswered questions for Ohio State. D-Mac, you got to be interested in this game tonight, Ohio State, Minnesota. You're going to check it out at some point, right?
I am, because obviously Ohio State, it is the one team in the Big Ten that's carried the pedigree, whether we like it or not, sitting here in Michigan. So it not only will let you know what you're up against in Minnesota, but anytime you see two big teams play, especially at the beginning of the year, it lets you know what you're up against. So all those questions you asked about Ohio State, well, Minnesota being at home, to me, I don't know. When I first looked at this line, it sort of shocked me because of seeing that low of a spread for an Ohio State game. But again, I think it's one of those ones that right there, because it could go either way, and it'll be interesting moving forward. Wow, does Ohio State just keep on clicking? Does Minnesota, what are they going to bring to the table in the Big Ten this year? So, again, interesting. And the bottom line is it's game on.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's always going to be games going on. Coastal Carolina, they're ranked in the top 25. I mean, they're playing Citadel. That's a bye game for them. So, whatever with that. Southern Utah's at Arizona State. Southern Utah got throttled by San Jose State last weekend in week 0. So we'll see if they can present a challenge to Arizona State. But that's the one. I mean, Ohio State and Minnesota, that's going to be the game that I think everybody around here is going to be locked in on. Michigan fans certainly will, because they're begging for any little bit, because they can't beat Ohio State themselves, so they have to pull in to hope somebody else does.
They're playing, obviously, you got State playing Northwestern, and Western Michigan playing Michigan, and I'm interested for that State game too, to see what's going on happening. Obviously Northwestern, the way they've played in the past years, they've move themselves up as I guess for the lack of a better term, but one of the better teams in the Big Ten when there's only like really one good team or and
one.
then
Yeah, no, you're right. There's one.
The fact that it's underway, the fact that we'll get to see everything going on, I'm really interested to see because we've talked about a lot here. Michigan's not talking. Harbaugh's not talking. Does that benefit them, and do we see a different team or a different attitude? Is there something different, or is it something that's been continuing from past seasons?
Sure, and that's something that we'll keep an eye on. Another good game tonight that's really gone under the radar, and Fish is going to be so proud of me for this one. Boise State and UCF play each other. And this, to me, those are the schools I was talking about, with the goalposts move on them constantly because they win. Boise State's, they've fallen off just in that whole beat Oklahoma, go to the Fiesta Bowl thing that, Michigan fell off from as well. So, I mean, both things can be true. But, I mean, they're going to do it. They're playing in Orlando. I love it, too. UCF calls their stadium the Bounce House.
Really?
Oh, yeah, which is really cool. I will watch this game. I will, because you guys will find this out about me. I'm a college football dork. It's been a big goal of mine in my media career to have a Heisman vote, because I do this weird thing that a lot of people around here that have Heisman votes don't do. Like, I watch, the West Coast games and watch all the players.
So do your due diligence?
Yeah, even though I'm not voting. Like, I do a weird thing that not a lot of the media does, certainly on the East Coast.
Take that into account, Heisman voters.
Whoever I got to talk
Ruhl
to
will watch the games.
Yeah, Mountain West. And speaking of that, here's how sick I get about college football. Saturday night at midnight. Hawaii.
The bailout game.
Hawaii plays Portland State. And yes, I will watch that too. I will. I can't guarantee I'll make it to the end. But I will fight and claw and try to work my way through it.
My AG account will be open.
I'm just saying, guys, there's a lot of avenues for you from the MyBookie studios. What do you got, Fish?
Remember, UCF won a national championship in 2017.
Yes, they did. They made their own rings and everything. They certainly did. So, yeah, it's just I'm a big sicko when it comes to college football. We're going to take a break. When we come back, since it's DMAC and I was going to call an audible on this, and I know this is older news, but DMAC and I, as you guys know, as you heard me talk about before, we worked in a past radio life together at the ESPN affiliate here in Detroit. And we had a conversation, it's about 2013, 14-ish, right around there, about the NHL TV contract. I know a lot of you are big hockey fans. I see you guys talk in the chat thread. We're going to talk some hockey when we come back. We're going to talk television hockey. And everything I said to DMAC turned out to be true. So I'm going to take a victory lap, and DMAC is here for it, and he's fine with it. He's fine with it because I do want to get his thoughts. Because I've talked about how the English Premier League has higher ratings than the NHL. I think the NHL is taking a step to try to recover some of that. We'll discuss when we come back. You're watching Big D Energy on Woodward Sports Network.
You know why realtors love using Hall Financial as a lender? Because of our commitment to speed and service. We have nearly 4,000 five-star reviews already. Call today, 248-308-5000, or go to callhallfirst.com.
Second hour of the show. We are cruising here on Big D Energy. Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, and Woodward Sports. Hey, we're giving away front row tickets to the Detroit Lions season opener against the 49ers. Very simple, guys. Anybody can do this. Even I can figure this out. Follow at Woodward Sports and follow Big D Energy on Twitter. Tag 3 friends and retweet your tweet. And you're up in there. You have a chance to win. We will pick the winner next Friday at noon. You'll be on your way, sitting front row, the Lions and the 49ers, Nick Bosa, and that 49ers defense, which I think a lot of people are sleeping on, will be in the house. That punishing...
Sleeping on?
Yeah, I think they are.
Really?
That defense is so good.
Do you think they're sleeping? I know.
So good.
I ain't sleeping on none of them. No, who's sleeping?
Yeah.
I mean,
punishing, rushing attack.
The people who sleep through tornadoes and thunderstorms, I guess, because, dude, that's one of the best in the league.
Yeah. So, it's they're coming, man. They are. And all this talk about Lions roster and all that stuff, again, I'll always go back to it. like Drake said, we're going to see all this talk about we're not going to spend a ton of time on it, but it's something for me where with the NHL coming up in the 80s certainly was the heyday. Then into the 90s was a heyday, a really good time for the league, and the Stars really carried everything with Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux and Steve Yzerman. Those were the 3 best players on the planet for a decade. They were. And NHL was doing well, and games were on ESPN, and a regional sport, DMAC, had become national. And I was here for it. Then Gretzky got traded to the Kings. That helped. Whether people in Canada hated it, I know they did. They cried, everything like that. But in the grand scheme of things, it helped the NHL.
Absolutely.
What he did to LA, he made hockey cool.
Absolutely.
He made the LA Kings hockey like the Lakers, DMAC. It was a show.
And they were destined to win in '93 too. So to be able to, it was a show. All the stars were out, the old LA Forum, and it was a great time. Obviously, with it's about reach. It's about facilitating the options, and ESPN, especially back in the '90s, but obviously, into today's day and age, where you see all the different ways that you can watch it. That hockey needs ESPN back. You know what I'm saying? I think that sometimes and I think that where it was at, where hockey was at, where the league was at, where ESPN was at, it was like an agreement to go the different ways, and the NHL try it out. But I think they both realized that the partnership, it's sort of like a marriage. You know what I mean? They got sort of divorced, and these people get back together because they see the bigger scheme of things. So ESPN, and I think they're in a great position because of the globality, the globalness of the game of hockey now it is, with the Europeans and the Russians and everything, and it's the global game. So ESPN is the leader in the sports. It obviously puts it on more homes in the United States and stuff like that, where you can flick through it, like you said, flicking through.
Where ESPN is on
right,
your, on
and
your
you're going to
cable
flick
package.
it on, and whether you like it or not, but it's just going to get you into the talk. For me, it's the relationship with the announcers. The one thing when I look back is to have Gary Thorne do my call for my goal that I beat one guy one-on-one. It was just for the clincher. People come up to me to this day. Those are the iconic calls. So between TNT, between ESPN, I think that this is going to help in the growth of the sport. So I think it's a needed relationship, but I think it's something that you see up on screen for you people that are listening on the radio. A 7-year television streaming and media rights deal, exclusive coverage of Stanley Cup Final on ABC in 4 of the 7 years. Half a Stanley Cup playoffs on ABC and ESPN each season, which is huge. 25 exclusive national regular season games on ABC or ESPN. 35 national regular season games will stream exclusively on both ESPN and Hulu. An out-of-market streaming package, formerly NHL.TV, available only as part of ESPN subscription. So conglomerating different things, making it easier to find it. And ESPN, ABC, it's the reach, Neal, and you understand that as a captain of this ship. It's facilitating the option, and hopefully this can not do anything but help the NHL as far as getting in front of people.
Yeah, and that's something where the ESPN Plus thing is big, because I've always talked about it. This is me talking personally, not because I do games on the network or anything like that. This is all independent of that. ESPN Plus, if I could only have one thing on television, I would have ESPN Plus, because there's always a game on. And I don't watch movies. I don't watch shows. I just watch sports. And for the $6 a month or whatever it is, and it's a standalone thing. MLS went this route with their pay-per-view package, or whatever you want to say, their season package. NHL's doing it now too. That's brilliant.
Yep.
It's brilliant for ESPN Plus, because this is going to generate revenue. And as far as the numbers go, it's something where, the NHL is obviously going to generate revenue. Now when things went south with the NHL and ESPN's thing was they went to the league and said, look, your ratings are starting to go down. It's something where here's how we'll do it. I know you want to stay on our network. We'll do your games. We'll bring in all the advertising revenue. We'll take out the cost of production. We'll split the money with you. And the NHL said, no, we're not going to go that route. So they took, I think it was somewhere in the neighborhood of $20 million a year or something like that to go on Versus. And you worked for Versus for a while. You did a lot of studio stuff with Versus. But D-Mac, that was the death blow. That was the absolute moment in time where, to me, as a fan, look, I'm an NHL fan. You know, I remember Greg Steffen playing goalie for the Detroit Red Wings. I remember those times.
Good golf.
And Rick Zombo and Harold Schneps. I remember all those guys. I was a little kid, but I watched every single game back when they were on TV 50 with Dave Strader.
Absolutely.
I watched all those games. But to me, as a sports fan, that was the day the music stopped for the NHL in terms of being a nationwide captive audience.
Well, that's it. When you take away viewership or you make it harder for people to find it, I mean, we're all sort of, we have our routines and we have our things that we watch and we know where our channels are. And when it's not there, when you have to go search for something, it's frustrating.
When you have to find a hockey game on CNBC, that's the end.
When I have to search around for a game more than hit 3 channels, then I'm probably sidetracked. And it's like Art brought up for Kanye's 27-song album is like, you got to get with the times, the attention span. So the fact that ESPN Plus, where you mentioned Major League Soccer, I know Art, the UFCs are on there.
Right.
And so the one-stop shop, I think that, and I think at the time it was Gary Bettman stepping out thinking that that he had more power than he did instead of, what would take to grow the league. And I'm sure that in his mind, he thought that he could make it work, but it didn't. That all powers understand that with this deal, that I'm just glad for the sport that it'll work out, and hopefully some good things come to it and we gain new fans.
Yeah.
Do you, is part of you worried, because I noticed a tweet yesterday that said, I'd rather pay for the NFL for one game than watch this, and I was like, better watch what you say, because I could see someone like an ESPN or like Amazon charging to watch the Super Bowl. Not a pay-per-view rate like a $50, $60, but like hey, you've got your subscription, but also if you want to watch the Super Bowl, it's going to be an extra $10.
Yeah, I don't think that day is going to come because of the astronomical price of commercials.
That is true.
And that has become such a cash cow where if you go to an advertiser, if you go to Coke or Pepsi and say, hey, because prices are never going down to advertise on the Super Bowl. They're never going to go down. So what's an ad right now? It's like $6-7 million, whatever that number is. You're never going to go to Pepsi and say, hey, we put the Super Bowl on pay-per-view. By the way, where's our $7 million for the commercial?
Yeah,
it's not going to fly with Pepsi.
I really hope, because the UFC is trying something new, and I'm so excited for it. They're going to run one of the biggest pay-per-views. They're actually switching to an ABC event, to where you don't have to pay for a pay-per-view, but it's pay-per-view quality. I mean, it's arguably card of the year. So I'm excited to see that, because I think the days of paying $60, $70 for a pay-per-view, that's just astronomical, especially when you've got to pay for UFC Fight Pass. Oh, don't forget Netflix, Hulu, ESPN Plus. Like, it becomes more expensive than cable.
Well, to be all honest, if I was going to spend that money, I go to Levels in Centerline because it's now open. Idea. Come experience the next level in cannabis on Sherwood between 9 and 10 Mile. You can pick up some Darren McCarty brand Max 69 there, along with all the Levels gear. T Grizzly has his Grizzly gas out there and stuff like that. So download their app today and start collecting points so you can level up. Search Enjoy Levels in Apple or Google Play stores. Make sure when you stop by Levels today, you mention Woodward Sports. Tell them D-Mac sent you. Neal, Ruhl, Darren McCarty. Joint's not in today, but we are Big D Energy Woodward Sports Network. Be right back.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Back at it here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Ruhl. He's D-Mac, Darren McCarty, 4-time Stanley Cup champion. Joik Bell, not in the house here today. He'll be back, though. He'll be back.
I hate when D-Mac reads the comments during the break, and there's just certain ones that pop up.
Joey 2 times, Joey 2 times, Joey 2 times. You nailed it, buddy. Yes, Art, we all know, has a lot of kids, so we know what happens because of that.
Yep.
So I'm not going to say it because I'm
it's
trying to be cleaner.
Yeah, and if you do want to see the YouTube chat, we're on YouTube as well. Just search Woodward Sports.
Absolutely. Talking a little bit of hockey as we wrap up that discussion, I do want to get into some PGA Tour golf discussion as well, but don't worry, we'll make it cool. Don't worry, just trust me on that one. Dave Schultz says, bring back the glow puck. What did players think of the glow puck?
Well, we were playing.
No, I know. but when you.
Dude,
really, D-Man?
I laughed.
I mean, it wasn't like that in the arena during the game?
No, but the puck was different. Like when you would pick it up or whatever, and I don't mean it was way different or whatever, but like there's seriously, you look at it or cut it apart and it had the things in it. I used to laugh my ass off when I watch on TV the puck go around the boards and it end up in a guy's beer, right? Because the puck would be on the boards and the guy would be having his beer and they couldn't understand the glow puck would look like it was in the guy's beer in the crowd. So,
did you guys think it was gimmicky? Did you think it was gimmicky?
Because if you don't watch hockey growing up or seen it live or around it, it's a tougher game to enjoy. So that was done for the enjoyment of the fans. But yeah, we don't need the glow puck.
Look at you trying to be nice about it. You can say it. Did you guys make fun of it in the locker room? 100%, didn't you? You did, didn't you? 1,000,000%.
Yeah, I mean, made fun of just. I think it's one of these things is that you can't do anything about it. But I think it was intriguing because we got to see it cut in half and how it really worked. So they came in and presented it, and so I don't. There wasn't a big difference. That's what I wondered. Speaking of sabermetrics and stuff, I wonder what the goals that year, if they were up or down or whatever.
Yeah, they were probably. Chad, but not that Chad, says, hey, you need to bring back 5'9" goalies. Goalies have gotten so big. The equipment's gotten so big.
So athletic, so style, gendered. Yeah, exactly. We need Darren Pang, the St. Louis NHL, the color guy, because he's like 5'4".
Right.
So.
And Chad, but not that Chad asked that. He said, did the glow puck bounce a lot more than the regular? Did you notice a difference?
Did I notice a difference? I don't want to handle it. I'm either shooting it or trying to kill you. So, I mean, no, I didn't. You'd have to ask like a Sergey or a Drapes or Stevie, somebody who handled the puck. But, I mean, it doesn't throw a wiffle ball out there and we'll fight over it. It doesn't matter what it is. I didn't want it till I was near the net anyways.
I gotcha. No, I gotcha.
I don't really remember. Like, it must not have been that big of a deal because I don't remember you know what I'm saying? There wasn't that, it's such a big deal to remember it. It was just all I remember is watching on TV and see it go into the crowd as they're playing because of the video. I think today's day and age with technology, because of where we've come from there, that it'd probably work. I mean, I don't need to see the fire behind the slap shots and all that stuff. That's
when it got over 80 miles an hour or whatever it was.
Yeah, that's a little.
Ally afraid. Oh, those announcers, man. When Ally
I don't
afraid.
mind that, and when they do all the gimmicks and all this stuff, they should use the All-Star Weekend and the skills competition to do that, to introduce that, bring the glow puck back, do all this different things. That's what it's for.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like experimenting during that time was kind of crazy because like everything was already going, and then you throw that in. I completely agree. Do it, for the extracurricular events with the NHL. It's a beautiful idea.
I didn't have a huge problem with it like everybody else did. I get what they were trying to do because the hockey loyalists are not going anywhere no matter what you do. They've proven that. The hockey loyalists aren't going anywhere. They're always going to watch. So you have those people. You don't have to worry about them. You have to figure out a way to get the new fans in there, to get the new involvement. I see what they were doing. And hockey is that sport, Darren. I always said this about arena football. Arena football and hockey were the two sports where you had to go there and see it, and then you would understand. It doesn't translate on television.
I used to go to all the arena football games back when I was drafted, and I used to, train down in Joe Lewis, and Dave Lewis, and I remember Ryan, his son, and all his buddies were high school, right? So they're only like 4 or 5 years younger than me, but I'd work out, and then the arena football team would be there, Tim Markham, those guys, and I remember me and my buddies, I think we were like 20 years old, watching them celebrating in the locker room after they won one of their championships. So that was always the coolest thing. But arena football, go to one of those. I mean, that's a great game.
Tick Tick says the NHL should do a Nickelodeon game and bring back the glow puck.
See, that would make sense, right? When you're going to do, like, I know that the NFL's bringing back some Nickelodeon games, and I like that. But they could do that if this is that sort of game. So you leave the traditional on the ESPN, and then somewhere else is we're going to try new things.
I'm all for it because another announcer gets a paycheck too.
Cha-ching.
And I'm about that life.
Yep.
I am. No, but we were talking about, just for those of you just jumping on here, we were talking about the NHL, their new deal with ESPN. They're coming back. I think it's really, really going to benefit the league. It's really, really going to draw some more eyeballs to the NHL. So we were just talking about all that because I always thought that was the day that the music died for the NHL, in that they had a very good thing going and they destroyed it. Gary Bettman destroyed it. And I know that's an old bit where everybody, the whole Gary Bettman thing, I get that. But he flat out dropped the ball on that. There is no question. No question. Dave Schultz says, I love the Detroit Drive and the Detroit Fury. That's where I got my start in the media business, was with the Detroit Fury. That was a lot of fun. Along Thies says, cameras do not catch the speed unless they're along the glass. And that's the thing that you lose on television with hockey. How fast that game is.
You see a game live, you're hooked.
Right.
And even to us, to myself, as a player, that plays on that ice at that speed at the highest level. When I don't play and I stand at ice level, like at the Zamboni end with Dalsabaka or something like that, it blows me away to go, oh my God, we're going this fast. Like it's a different mindset, right? It's sort of like camera on, camera off. You know what I'm saying? When you're doing a game and it's just sort of flowing, you don't really realize then to see some of the hits and some of the stuff like that when you're not playing. It's mind blowing. So if you haven't been to a game, and I like a great comment somebody brought up on the YouTube chat is junior hockey, right? Anywhere you can go, and this gets to the segue into the why I love wrestling and indie wrestling and stuff like that. Anywhere you go where guys aren't making a living doing it, and it's all about passion and it's all about getting to the next level, and they realize it. I'm all for it. I'm one of the fortunate ones that believe that you can accomplish anything you put your mind to, but what are your priorities? And don't say you do anything, because would you really do absolutely anything?
Would you deliver pizzas at 30 years old?
I know somebody who would.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what it takes, dude. I mean, really, that you say you'll do anything. Would you really do it?
I know somebody who would and did. Neal Ruhl. I know somebody who can't because he's not allowed around pizza
or young children. No, I'm just kidding, Arturo.
No, he's allowed around all the young children because it keeps popping out. Back to Joey 2 times. Art, you might need to learn a trick to the trade.
Chuck Brewer says, I live in the west side of the state, grew up on the K-Wings. And I'm a huge OHL fan.
But the IHL, like the K-Wings back in the day and the old IHL, we were talking about how the games changed, but the IHL, the Flints and the Kalamazoos and the Muskegans back in the 80s and 90s, like that, to me, that's the slap shot, the real hockey, all the different things. But also, too, guys, they're making a couple dollars, but they're doing it for the passion and the love of getting to the next level. So hopefully with this NHL, whatever it is, it brings up the entertainment value and we can draw more fans either way.
Harrison Metzler says, Ruhl, would you broadcast a Nickelodeon football game? They are owned by CBS after all. If you have a check and a microphone, I'll be there. That's how I operate here.
Absolutely.
It's not hard to find me.
No, absolutely.
Catch me outside.
Catch me outside.
The Vipers back in the day. But look at this passion though for hockey. I mean,
love it.
There it is. It's there, people. It is, and there's a couple of factors here why we don't know that. I mean, obviously, given the state of the Red Wings right now, which they're in process of fixing, they've made some moves, some big time moves, and they're on their way. I have a 2023 timeline with them as well. 2023 is going to be a good year.
It's going to be a great year.
It's going to be a very, very good year.
We haven't even talked about timeline with Tigers or even Pistons, who are probably the furthest along because it's getting Cade Cunningham. So you got two. Yeah, I've been preaching this to the season ticket holders and to the Wing Wheel Nation and whatever else. It's like now's the time in the next couple of years for all the sports to go figure out where you want to be and cheer, whether it's your local watering spot, whether it's in your man cave, whether it's down at the stadiums live. Go figure it out now, because I will, Neal, be the one to say I told you so when you're looking for a ticket and you can't find it because it's circa 1997, 98 Red Wings style. And it's just a matter of time. Just a matter of time. And I like your plan. Bring them all home at once.
Yeah, Chad, but not that, Chad. Neal, is $30 enough to call a pickup game? No, I'll need at least $150 for a pickup game, and I need rosters with names and numbers.
Absolutely,
and pronunciation.
Not much. And speaking of celebrations, tonight, Troy North, 6 p.m. They're having in Taylor. They're having a victory parade.
Yeah, absolutely. They are.
So anybody who was going to be around there, anybody who's out in East Lansing, I'm heading out there after this to go to the new Pincana to go talk education and the cannabis with the roll-on and all the stuff like that. So I'll be at Pincana there. But if you get a chance, congratulations to those kids, man. And the parents and everybody supporting them, and the city of Taylor and everything because it takes a community to raise a kid and the team. And enjoy your night.
And they were dominant too. I mean, they were flat out dominant. They were incredible to watch. It was a lot of fun. And again, just the notoriety they bring certainly to the state. The notoriety they brought to that Hamtramck team that won it back in 1959, that was pretty cool, too. All the little side stories and everything.
We'll have to ask Maz, because he was like 20-something at that time.
Yeah, I think Maz was covering it.
Yeah, I think he was.
I think Maz was out there. No, just playing with you. Just playing with you, Maz. I did want to touch on this PGA discussion really quick. And, we're going to talk about who we think the NFL MVP will be. D-Mac's wrestling discussion, he and I are going to kick it around. That'll be a little bit of fun in the last segment. But the PGA Tour, and look, I know the headlines have been the Bryson DeChambeau, the people calling him Brooksy. The PGA released a statement. Anybody that's found to be doing that will be kicked off the grounds immediately. Bryson looks like he's a little thin-skinned about it, which he probably is. And I like Bryson DeChambeau.
So do I.
I do. I love the originality. I love what he has brought to the game as far as playing analytically, finding out that distance is the true, much the same way we found out that the on-base percentage in baseball is the true barometer. Distance is what wins in the PGA Tour. It does. I mean,
we saw him do it here at the golf course that you and I have played, and the way he disassembled Detroit Golf Club to win the Rocket Mortgage, hitting it in spots. He's got something between the science and everything else. Now, I mean, some people he rubs the wrong way and different like this, but when it comes to, somebody yelled Brooksy at Bryson DeChambeau because Brooks Koepka and Bryson DeChambeau go back and forth about, and it's more Brooks hating Bryson and Bryson just needling him and just being that guy. But how does did not mashed potatoes or Baba Booey or whatever, how
the man?
You can't yell anything except encouragement to a
and
fan.
They are skirting a dangerous line, I think.
Dude,
right
you
there.
can't, what is that? That's ridiculous as far as if you just yell a dude's name. I think it was James Hahn who said with all this coming out about Bryson be called Brooksy, how you get ejected. I take offense to being called Kevin Na, Singling Day.
that was pretty funny.
And he tweeted that. But, I mean, that's sort of ridiculous, isn't it? Where was this? I don't understand where this goes or what the point is. This just is one of those cases that it brings more of a spotlight to something that had died down, more to speak.
And Along the Ice says on our YouTube thread, says, my sister was at the BMW. The fans were out of control, LOL. But that's something, and look, you go back to the Happy Gilmore movie, that's a very fine line, I think, for the PGA to walk, because I think they need more of that. And look, certainly you're not going to yell while somebody's trying to make their shot or anything like that, or putt their putt. Certainly you're not going to do that. But they do need to be careful here, I think, D-Mac, because the fan engagement is what drives the sport. And golf's as popular right now as it's ever been. The pandemic, that was the one thing that you could do, was go outside and go play golf. And, it's drawn a lot of new eyeballs, certainly the sports gambling as well, as we're here live from the MyBookie studios. That has played a part. I've talked to people that do that stuff, and they said they love betting on golf because you can get Bryson DeChambeau and get 15-1, 20-1 on him to win the tournament. You can get a big payday, so they like it.
Look at Metro Detroit golfers.
Right.
Look
Mike
at
Sullivan's
the love
Facebook
of golf.
page.
Now, when this comes out in the PGA, this is to me, it reminds me of like Vince in the WWE doing something stupid in wrestling or something that doesn't make sense because we're all golf fans and whatever, and this just makes the sport look like, oh, this is snooty, and then it gives Maz the
ammo.
Golf gives Maz ammo for the golf whenever he wants to say, oh, now you're so soft and stuff. So I don't understand it, what this is. I like the energy. I mean, come on, 16th hole in Phoenix, fans going absolute berserker. You know, I love that stuff. I do, and I mean, be the heel. I mean, maybe it's because it's the wrestling. Is that I think he'd sort of embrace it, and but again, those aren't the golf etiquette, I guess to say.
Yeah,
but.
and Maz, and we have like a text string that all of us are on, and that's how we kind of kick back and forth topics for the shows and ideas that we want to do. So Maz got in on golf, and he what did he say? He said, go over all the staunchy first names in golf: Bryson, Rory, Jordan, Brooks, Xander, Stewart, Webb, Keegan, Garrick. If you have one of the above names, you have to become a pro golfer. And I get that. So, yeah, I mean, to combat that, yeah, you know, be the everyman a little bit. Have a little fun out there. But, I mean, for me, I think PGA Tour golf should be the fans' favorite sport because you only get what you earn that weekend in that event. Nothing is guaranteed to you. Nothing is guaranteed to you. And that's what fans always talk about. They hate the big money. They hate everything that goes along with guaranteed contracts, all that stuff. PGA Tour golf, D-Mac, starts on Thursday, ends on Sunday. The truth is told. Whatever you deserve, that's what you get.
Well, right. When you're talking about the competition part, but if you look at it, the community part, no sport raises more money for the community, I think, than golf has. And the reach that they have. I think that there's this sort of, when we were growing up, the golf game was sort of, or golf was sort of the elitist sport and all that sort of thing, but that's not the way it is now. From, you know, everybody going out and enjoying the game. So to me, this just this is like the
slippery slope. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and to me, it's just soft.
I agree.
Lame,
I agree.
Soft, whatever.
No, I am. I'm with you. So, you know, hey, that is what it is. When we come back, want to discuss, get back into the NFL. Who's going to win this year's NFL MVP? I think it's a very easy argument. But D-Mac, you know, I'm looking a little scruffy up here, man. Like, where?
Oh, well, you know
what? What if I wanted to get
if
the trim? What should I do?
And you know what? It's unfortunate today because we don't have an in-studio guest, but a lot of the people on the chat, like they call it the Maz cam, so they can see into, you know why? Because let's be honest, Neal. We like simple stuff as dudes. Football, 5 days a week. I'm good with that. I don't need it 5 days. We like things uncomplicated, people, like Lady Jane's haircuts for men. Walk in, sign in, sit down, and before you know it, you are handsome and clean. So, if you want, Neal, when you're done here, you just move up in the front, put your name down. One of these lovely ladies will take care of you. They're open. Lady Jane's open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. Woodward Sports Network.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Welcome back to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Ruhl. He's D-Mac. Darren McCarty, four-time Stanley Cup champion. Joick Bell has the day off. Remember, we'll be live tomorrow. Arts, Beats, and Eats. We'll be out there in them streets, so make sure you stop by and say hi. I'll make Stick give you a T-shirt. Just say, hey, Neal, Stick said he'd give me a T-shirt, so I'll hook it up for you. I'll get it done. But, you know, D-Mac, we talked a lot of football today, and rightfully so, because it's in the air. Did you smell it this morning, by the way? That 55-degree morning?
What a beautiful morning as I was letting the Savages, the dogs out. It was. And I think that even this weekend, Labor Day weekend, it's something as college gets kicked off. But, I mean, football's right around the corner. And the days like these fall mornings, especially the way the heat's been, it does. It's that crisp autumn smell, even though we're not in autumn yet.
Yeah, and that's something where that's one of those telltale signs that when you get that crispness in the morning, that's when you know it. It timed up right this time, too. Certainly with this morning, yesterday morning, and it's probably going to be the same thing going through the weekend as you line up your big Labor Day festivities. I'm in a good spot, D-Mac. This is the first time I can remember I don't have a soccer match to call, anything to do for ESPN Plus.
This weekend?
This weekend. I'm completely in the clear. It's never happened to me before. I'm going to get it in, D-Mac.
You going golfing?
I'm going to hit the golf course up tomorrow, slide out to the Orchards up there in Washington Township. That's my track. Shout out Orchards.
Shout
out
my
people.
Orchards and Jeff, yeah.
Yeah, we got to get you out there, D-Mac.
I love that course. Obviously got some history with it. Fun course to play. Yeah, we'll get out and play soon. So you'll enjoy that. I'm actually heading up to Kalkaska this weekend to do some farming, but I'll be up there to Botanical Gardens opening up a compassion club up there, so we'll be up around there, and I might even slide over to everybody over at the Suburban Place. The State Fair's going on.
Yeah.
I need an elephant ear, man. I haven't had an elephant ear in a long time.
I don't do the sugar, but if I were going to do the sugar,
no, I was thinking about you.
I would holler at the elephant ear.
Like I don't drink anymore, so I got to pass it off. But I'll do the elephant ears for you.
All right, fair, and I'll handle the bourbon duties.
That's a great team. Teamwork making the dream work. Art, you see how you help each other? That's what I said. Nothing to say, do you?
Yeah.
No, exactly.
He's speechless, folks. He's shaking his head. No, but I did want to get into this discussion, though. The NFL MVP, and this is some of the fun stuff that we'll get to do, not only today, but in the coming days as well. Who will win the NFL MVP this year? And that's for me something that I think is very cut and dry. To me, I think it's something it's a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. But, D-Mac, I'm curious to get your thoughts on it. Mahomes, Rodgers won it last year. Josh Allen certainly will be in the mix this year. Who you got for the NFL MVP?
Well, I think you bring up is that I always look at it, and, Patrick Mahomes and everything you hear is set up to bounce back with, all his guys returning, and you give more time to anybody, and repetitions, like I've been telling you, in any sport will make it good. So he's the easy one. But I'd like to see Josh Allen make that next step. I think that he's got the ability. If he makes that next step, at least legitimately in the conversation with the guys like Mahomes, with the Bradys, the Rodgers, whatever like that. To me, it's down to Allen, and then what kind of season's Aaron Rodgers? He's going to go in there to prove that he's the alpha male. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's back to back. But right now, I think I'm putting my money on Josh Allen.
And for those that are curious for entertainment purposes only, or not, because you can go to mybookie.ag and get it all hooked up on your phone. But we are in the MyBookie studios after all. Josh Allen right now at 14-1, Aaron Rodgers 11-1, Patrick Mahomes a favorite at 6-1, and that's where it lies for me, because the Kansas City Chiefs, and we all saw what happened in the Super Bowl, and I still thought the Chiefs were going to win the game, and I look back on that and go, wow, dude, you were pretty stupid, because you took out the spine of their offensive line. And I thought that the machine would just continue to roll, which clearly it did not. And Eric Fisher was a former number 1 overall pick, and they felt those losses, and the Tampa Bay Bucs teed off on defense. But the Chiefs went out, and they not only plugged those holes, they might have gotten better with the addition of Joe Thuney, Orlando Brown Jr. as well. They got them on some pretty decent contracts. Patrick Mahomes, man, he's got something to his game that A, you can't teach, that B, can't be bought, and C, can't be stopped because you have him stopped until you don't. And the escapability with Mahomes is the thing really for me that sets him apart from everybody. And yeah, Rodgers is deceptively good on his feet. Josh Allen makes plays with his feet as well. I love that old bit. Makes plays with his feet. I get that. But just the way that Patrick Mahomes pulls a rabbit out of the hat, it seems, at 3rd and 16 doesn't matter. Figures it out. Runs 40 yards from sideline to sideline, dives to the ground, sends a Mike Henneman, submarine throw that catches Tyreek Hill in the shin. He catches it. Travis Kelce, all the weapons that they have. I just think that the Chiefs are set up for a while. You look at their salary cap chart. They are set up. They got about a 2 to 3 year window before Mahomes' contract really prices him out of contention. And I'm a big salary cap guy because that tells you the truth. You can think what you want, but looking down the line is where you find out the truth about a football team. And Patrick Mahomes, to me, D-Mac, is a no-brainer this year. I know he's the chalk. I know he's 6-1, but hey, go get 6 times your money on my bookie.
You know what? And it realizes that I compared. And it's the mini-me version of Patrick Mahomes is Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Right? As far as
I would agree.
He's not as big, right? So it's more of mini-me sort of like can do it, but what you see Patrick Mahomes doing is get better and better each year, but he's got the size, he's got the arm power, he's got the ingenuity, and he's got the trust of his team, right? He's running that offense. With all the alphas there, right? We always mention other teams is that you're looking for Baker Mayfield with the Browns, with the Odells, the Landrys, and the Chubbs to take, right? You still don't know in the huddle or feel it. I felt it more this year, the leadership of Baker, but that goes back to knowing that Mahomes, that's his team, 100%, right? And it's the same thing as it's Aaron Rodgers' team, 100%. Now, Josh Allen, he's still getting into that, but with Sean McDermott, the coaching always helps, but you got to put the talent into the right spot.
Sure.
It goes back to what you said earlier. The talent usually comes to the top early, right? So for me, 6-1. I mean, I thought that for things that are 6-1 odds, that's pretty good 6-1s.
Yeah.
But I'd be betting them all.
And I think that this, I mean, even if you want to get creative like that, you look at Mahomes and Rodgers and Allen, it's going to be one of those three, right? So you could even run that thing where you take Mahomes at 6-1 heavy, you go a little bit lighter on Rodgers and Allen and put yourself in a position where you make money no matter what happens.
Yep.
And that's, I mean, if you were a hedger, that's exactly how I would run it. But for my money, man, Patrick Mahomes, he's it. I mean, I think D-Mac, when it all goes down, because they're going to be a factor, as I said, this year, next year, the year after. If he cashes two of those three, maybe wins back-to-back, if he cashes all three of those, I mean, you're seeing, just because of the style of play. Now, people will go right at me and they'll say, oh, the injury concerns. You saw him get banged up towards the playoffs. Remember, Chad Henne was the guy that made the big throw that sent them on to the playoffs. I get that, but you can say that with everybody.
Yeah.
You know, Josh Allen's one hit away on a QB scramble.
Well,
Aaron
that's the whole
Rodgers,
thing
the same thing.
when we're saying all this is if they stay healthy in a 100% injury league. So, again, there's always that misnomer, right? You know, it's different. The pitcher, you know, they're going to throw his arm out. Well, you know, that might happen if he's had the surgery. He's going to be stronger. So, we'll see. It should be a great year for all of them anyways.
Yeah, and again, for me, I just think that Patrick Mahomes will be one of the greatest players to ever play this game when it's all said and done. And granted, that's contingent on injury. Some of the other, I guess you would say, choices out there, if you're not a quarterback guy, obviously the quarterbacks are going to be the favorite. For everybody concerned here, Matt Stafford is 20-1. He is the 7th pick.
What is Derrick Henry?
Derrick Henry is the highest-ranked non-quarterback at 50-1.
So what does he have to do? What does running back have to do to win the MVP?
2,000 plus.
Does that
which he's done.
No,
he's got that in the bag.
Right.
You know,
so,
he's got that on the resume.
Because that's it. So at 50-1,
it's worth the spin, right?
I mean, I've done way stupider stuff with a lot more money than what I'd be thinking about putting down at 50-1.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's probably the most notable running back. Who else I got in there? Christian McCaffrey, 66-1. Dalvin Cook is 80-1. And you go down the list from there. Alvin Kamara is 100-1. I mean, if you want to take a spin.
Yeah, those are spins, man.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's the same thing every week you try to do with NASCAR. But there's enough odds because even at 6-1, I would have put Patrick Mahomes at like 3-1.
Yeah, Saquon Barkley's there at 100-1 as well. Jimmy Garoppolo at 100-1. And these are just some of the ones that, you know, I'm looking through. Jared Goff, by the way, 150-1 to be the MVP. Stephon Diggs, pretty good spin at 150-1 as well. I mean, he had such a good season last year, but you know they're not going to win it. I understand that, but you know it's fun. It's fun to talk about. It's just I'm on that Patrick Mahomes train, man.
Yeah,
I am.
How can you not be? And especially we mentioned it early in the show. they went out and addressed. They not only addressed the issues, they super addressed the issues.
Yeah, because they know, right?
Absolutely.
The Kansas City Chiefs know exactly what the story is and exactly what the scenario is. And they know the windows now. And you live this multiple times in your career. You talked about the Hasek trade. The Hasek trade, to me, was that signified, and I know like Luke Robitaille as well, who was a very, very vital, but never really got the credit here I think that he deserved. And we don't know what goes on in the locker room, but I would imagine Luke Robitaille was probably a pretty good locker room guy as well.
Turbo, oh yeah, he's my roommate, so he's awesome.
Yeah, but that was the moment to me when the Red Wings and Ken Holland just said, "We're all in. We don't care what it takes."
Well, and that's pre-salary cap era, and it just goes to show you what we were dealing with, and when you have no owner that wants to win. So hopefully, we do the same thing with the Tigers with the same ownership. But and there's one thing to go out and do it because nothing's guaranteed. But the fact that we were able to get it done that next year is something that the Kansas City's looking to do. Because that I'll tell you, when you win and you get back and you lose, that taste of losing, it's there. You because you know what it's like and you know what you're going after.
Yeah, our YouTube chat thread that we talk about all the time, and everybody's locked in on there, and they're certainly giving their thoughts. It reminds me a lot of AMC or GameStop stock, in that it shoots up one day, and then it goes down, and you wait, and you wait, and you wait, and then somewhere out of the blue, it just shoots up. That's the Luka Garza discussion on our YouTube thread, because for some reason, it just pops up. And I love it. I'm here for it. Harrison says Luka Garza can make a better Madden than EA can. Joey 2 times. I'm not a politics guy. I never do it. Luka Garza definitely would have handled the Afghan exit the right way. So, it's it's funny to me.
Luka doesn't flush toilets because he scares the Jalen Green out of it.
Yeah. So I like it. I do enjoy that. We'll take the final break of the show. When we come back, a little bit of a wrestling discussion I want to have with D-Mac. He took part in a wrestling event yesterday. I have some thoughts on the state of wrestling. We're going off the board a little bit. You know what? Why not? It's Big D Energy. Woodward Sports Network.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Also on the radio as well, 93.5 FM, The Roar. What up, though? If you're listening on The Roar right now, 99.1 FM, 94.7 HD2 as well. We're everywhere. YouTube. Make sure you follow on all the social media outlets as well. Keep up to date with everything that's going on. We'll be at Arts, Beats, and Eats tomorrow. Come up, say hi to Big D Energy. We'll get you a T-shirt or something out there. So make sure you slide by tomorrow at Arts, Beats, and Eats. My name is Neal Ruhl. He's D-Mac, Darren McCarty. The usual cast of characters are here as well. Fish is in the bowl. Arturo's running around here as well. Our YouTube chat people getting it in also. Steve R. says we need a Luka crypto coin. It would overtake Bitcoin. That would take about a week, I think. Luka coin.
I like it. Get on it, boys.
Yeah,
I'll take one.
Luka coin right now. Get that money down. But D-Mac, final segment of the show. And let everybody, what were you up to yesterday? You had a big wrestling event.
Well, yeah, and obviously it was as a fan. And I talk about the indie promotions and the different things, but one of the promotions is Horror Slam and GCW, which is a promotion throughout the country, and they do death matches, and they came together. So they had some of the biggest death match fighters. Now, I know, like, for some people, yeah, that's the barbed wire, that's the Legos, the entertainment. We mentioned Trey Miguel earlier. Him and Tony Deppen, if you go back, they had a banger of a match. They're two young guys that full speed, full power, stuff like this. It was the creativity of it. But the fact that, when it gets into it and these guys are going at it, I saw the sick clown I was telling you, a Canadian destroyer, which is sort of like a flip a guy through a glass window with fluorescent bulbs hanging on it. I mean, you can't hide from that. So,
no.
Utmost
No, you
respect. I think that you see in the chat, it's something that I encourage people, just like anything, go get your information. The great thing about wrestling, right, is that it's for everybody. Somebody asked me because, obviously, in my opinion, and I've been a wrestling fan all my life. I've been in and out of it, from back in the day when it was, WWF to WWE. But that's a dictatorship. Like what I mean by that is one guy controls a script. He says, you're an actor in that promotion.
Here's your lines.
Here's your lines. Do it. You're an actor. This is your character and whatever else. When we mention the Forbidden Door, and this goes back to the indie promotions and everything, it's about the storyline. It's about the characters. And to watch these guys put these matches together. Now we see the AEWs, the Impacts, the New Japans, the ROHs, the NWAs, all these different promotions who are working together, which you see different wrestlers, so for me, just as Chris Draper, Steve Eisman, the rest of the guys are out looking for new hockey players for this team, it's trying to get the shine on some of these guys who go notice that are doing it for their passion. So there's actually another GCW show. So they're in town in the same spot tonight, downtown. I forget, it's on Larkin. So at the Knights of Columbus Hall. So these guys love what they do. And I'm just, I don't want to do it. I mean, I beat the crap out of myself and been there, done that. But to watch these guys get involved and to know the storylines and before. So, whether it's IWR, XICW, there's a Northern promotion, the Mr. Chainsaw Wrestling. And these guys are all great guys. And obviously what I try to do is just figure it out, is that these guys are racking themselves up for my entertainment. Well, you know what? Let me see if the CBD and help them out and get the roll-ons or some of the candies and stuff like this to help them with their sleep or their pain, because if they're going out there beating themselves over the head with kendo sticks that are like this bat right here, that's the least I can do. So I love it for all the different things. I love the people just like anything else. So, I mean, it's unbelievable. And it's one of these things that, as far as, I'm new to the death match as far as but I watch the documentaries and see these different guys come in and know their stories and just, to be a fan. I'm a fan of anybody trying to be, I look at the wrestling world as professional stuntmen. Doing one of the most intricate
There's a craft to it. There's no doubt.
So you were mentioning that you got a couple issues with wrestling now?
Well, no. See, now you're framing it wrong.
No,
all right. Now you're framing it wrong.
How did you frame it?
Framing is everything.
How did you frame it?
Rack said on YouTube, said, "We'll see you there, D-Mac." Yeah, he'll be at the same spot tonight for the show. All right. Here's the deal. So my son is a big wrestling guy, and it's cool with me. I was big into wrestling, same time frame as you, D-Mac. We're roughly around the same age, same time frame as you, where I was there at the Silverdome, WrestleMania 3. I judged the quality of my parents as parents, whether or not they could get tickets to WrestleMania 3. They came through, so they were good parents. That makes them good parents, right? That's that's key.
Absolutely.
I was there. But and yeah, same time frame, came up through it, got into high school, maybe got away from it a little bit. When I started college, kind of picked it back up when WCW came in with the Monday Nitro, and they kind of poached everybody from WWF. And got away from it after like the Rock era, I would say, in Stone Cold. Got back out of it. Now my son comes along, he likes it. So I'm back in, so I'm watching it. And I think that athleticism is valued too much. And it just seems like, and I know we're at that spot in America. Here's what makes me laugh about people in America, especially consumers. Everyone says that they want choice, but they don't like anything different.
No, they want to complain about it.
Yeah, they only want to complain about it.
Wrestling is the perfect Neal golden rule, as all things can be true. It's just like what I say about hockey. Just because I played, my love of the game or love of hockey is no greater than yours or less than yours. It's different.
It's different.
There's something out there for everybody. That's why, it's not a competition. right? It's not a competition with anything. You're
and that is what's
competing
cool
with
about it.
yourself.
It's up to me what I like.
Right,
Like I'm a
dude,
big
who
I'm
am
a
I
big
to tell
I'm a
you
big
what
Matt
you
Riddle
like?
guy.
I'm the storyline guy.
Yeah.
Right? I rest the perspective. I'm the story. I don't have to like it, but it's got to make sense.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm more into the microphone and why this psychology, well, he hit him because of this or he hit him. Yeah, it's great to see the entertainment, but if you're going to do, like a move, you want it to tell a story, and the greatest wrestlers tell the greatest stories. And I enjoy the mic guys, the Jerichos, always been fantastic on the mic. You look at like the Jake Roberts from back in the day.
But see, that's the thing. Like all those guys, they don't have that anymore.
Well, they do, and
no, D-Mac, it's not a golden age for the talkers.
In the paper committee, they don't when they're acting. When it's here's your script, Mr. Reigns, and actually Roman Reigns. We had this argument too because you're not the same broadcaster you were in 2014 as you are 2021.
That's
you
not
got to
true,
give
D-Mac.
him the credit that he's not the same guy because now he's finally playing a role and a character. You watch all the different things. What's the thing that will get you into it is find the buffers, which between the shows, all the stuff that's on YouTube or out there on Twitter or of all these people, like there's Being the Elite, that these guys started, that are the AEW guys, the Young Bucks, the Kenny Omegas, the Anderson Good Brothers. They started in Japan videotaping 5-6 years ago. And they're still doing it, 300 some episodes. The Sammy Guevara blog, Ethan Page has a blog. When you get to see more of encompassing of the characters and they have more control, that's what it is, and sky's the limit, and that comes from the powers that be. It always comes from the top. So now the issue that Vince has in WWE and all the different things is that because that's the dictatorship where you have Tony Khan, who's the son of Shad Khan, who owns the Jacksonville Jaguars, European football team, owns the AEW wrestling. I mean, he's got more money than Vince. So you can't buy anybody out or intimidate. So when you understand that this is the movie, the WWE is the movie script, the NXT, whatever like this, and the rest of it, it's something that's more entertaining. So take it for what it is. And as long as you know that, then go look for what you want.
Yeah, I think they value the physique too much. I think they value
WWE.
The athleticism too much.
When you're saying that, you have to specify which company, because you're painting it with the broad brush that doesn't deserve it. That's like saying, oh, well, all soccer guys, they broadcast, there's no feel. How hard is, like that's...
Sure. No, I get what you're saying.
You're right,
yeah.
though, because that's the whole thing. If you look at WWE and Vince, the way that they're So, quick history at the end, right? So, recently, Vince took the NXT away from Triple H, which is going to crush him because the NXT was like the feeder program, but he did it the way where it's more the wrestling. It was more Forbidden Door. Now it's Vince wants monsters. Vince wants Vince guys, which are these big monsters. So he's taking.
They all have a beard. They all have the long. I mean, my wife said this too. Who doesn't care?
So
every everybody looks the same, and that's their problem.
But if you look at in
problem.
AEW, you look at Impact. No, there's people all different shapes and sizes that do the craft. Some are better talkers, some are better wrestlers. So it's getting down that rabbit hole, right? And finding out why. And a lot of it is like looking into some of these wrestling shows. There's a guy, look up Kenny Johnson. He does these 15-minute documentaries on different wrestlers, and it's really cool. Gets a little bit behind him. So there. I appreciate you talking wrestling today.
No, yeah. Along the Ice says Stone Cold was the best, and that's what I'm talking.
I'm going to take you. We're going to go.
I am. I'm
We're
going.
taking the boys,
taking
and
myself,
we're going to
come out.
Neal because he's all about it.
Rack says
and
that. I'll be there.
To a show, and again, no, Art, you can't come.
Yeah.
Fish, whatever you want,
and I'll do it, and I'll give it a spin because I'm like that. I have an open mind. I'll do that type of stuff. I'll give it a spin.
Do you see that comment by Dante151? Vince, and then in capitals, loves big, beefy men. Fact. Yeah. That's a fact. Dude, the greatest athlete on that roster is Ricochet. That can do
Ricochet, Matt Riddle.
But that's athletics. But
right.
Then there's no the story to it. So I mean, the one thing that I would encourage you, if you want to see great stories and whatever, get back into the Lucha Underground. Dario
Yeah,
Cueto from
my
back in the
son's a big
15,
lucha guy.
Oh.
Like he's all into it. But it just, to me, and again, we just recently started watching the AEW because he's onto that now. So we recently started that. Last night Jericho was great on the microphone like he always is. It's just the heyday we're talking about, the Jake Roberts, obviously the Ric Flair is one of the GOATs. I mean,
he's still around.
Yeah. He's obviously one of the GOATs, but everybody was a great talker. And now, like, Bobby Lashley on a microphone is brutal. It's brutal to listen to him talk.
That's why he's got an MVP.
Yeah, I know. They can't have him. That's just my point. I feel as though they value the athleticism. They value the physique too much. Get the characters back, Vince.
Here's my last thing, and this is a great one, Colton. The IWGT app, which is all the independent wrestling. Yeah, you don't need anything else. You can watch everything and see all this young, talented guys. And I'll leave you with this name, right? That Threat Army, check them out. Aaron Orion, Jack Price, Alex Weir, Adam Wick, Isaiah Bronner, Tommy Vendetta. Check out all these individual guys, and you'll see them. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah. Dave Schultz says AEW lets the talent write their stories, lets the talent compete in other promotions. So, yeah,
absolutely.
Certainly there's something to that. So, hey, good show here today, D-Mac. Love chopping it up with you.
Look, always great showing up, and because Join ain't here, we'll see you tomorrow, gang.
Absolutely. Well, remember, we'll be live. Arts, Beats, and Eats for Darren McCarty. My name's Neal Ruhl. Thanks for watching, everybody. Well, see you later.